Welcome to Saturday Morning Meeting for Suppliers, presented by 8th & Walton, the premier destination for supplier development, and sponsored in part by Dun & Bradstreet Credibility Corp., the leading provider of credit and credibility solutions for businesses. I'm Sam White, filling in for Andy Shook, who's on vacation. I'm coming to you from the new 8th & Walton location on the 3rd floor of Bentonville Plaza in Northwest Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas really is a hotbed of opportunity. 8th & Walton got its start right here a decade ago, and today we're spreading our wings. Not only are we expanding our office space, we're extending our presence across the globe, bringing training to suppliers in Canada, Mexico, and China. Today's show centers on this idea of Northwest Arkansas as a hub for growth, entrepreneurship, and giving back. Suppliers who live here and those thinking about coming here will find this episode particularly interesting. In our first segment, Mike Malone of the Northwest Arkansas Council speaks on the efforts being taken to bring the very brightest business minds, the best suppliers, and the best industry to our area. Next, Brandon Adams, creator of Arctic Stick, discusses how to get a product off the ground through crowdfunding. And we'll wrap things up with the heart of business in NWA, talking with Champions for Kids and Kraft Foods. A charitable culture is the heart of Northwest Arkansas, because here, we believe it's important to have a life that's more than a resume. Stay tuned.
I'm here with Mike Malone of the Northwest Arkansas Council to talk about what's to come for Northwest Arkansas. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks for having me back.
So, Northwest Arkansas Council just recently unveiled a new 3-year plan for the area. What was the process for creating that plan?
Well, I'm glad you asked, and it was really the community's plan. The Northwest Arkansas Council and our team, we really just helped facilitate a region-wide conversation. We got input from several hundred of our neighbors, of our friends, of our coworkers through focus groups and interviews, and we really wanted people to tell us what do we need to do as a region to make sure we stay competitive, but become even more economically competitive going forward. So,
and is this how the council has moved before?
It is.
It's really so. It's driven all the way kind of from a bottoms-up approach.
We're almost 25 years old as a regional organization,
okay.
and for several years focused mostly on hard infrastructure, airports, highways, water projects. Over the last 7 or 8 years, and it was really, Lee Scott was our chair of the year,
okay.
That we broadened our focus and really started to look at some of the other elements of what makes a great region. We still do a lot of infrastructure work, but Lee Scott said, hey, to compete economically, both for talent and for business attraction, you got to be a lot more than just have good highways and good airports.
So let's talk about some of the goals. The first one is workforce development. What exactly does that mean?
Well, that means a lot.
Okay.
When we're sitting here as a region at 4.1% unemployment, we have most of our employers in the area saying we can't get enough talent. We can't grow it from within, we can't recruit it in, we need help. And so it's a multi-part plan aimed at both recruiting in more talent, but also working with the training institutions, the schools, the higher ed institutions to grow more talent as well. And there's even some elements in there to retain talent. We've got to do it all, or we're not going to be able to meet the employment needs of
and growing the talent, like University of Arkansas,
absolutely.
Those people stay here, right? And they come and they get developed, and then they come into the jobs.
Yes.
Versus leaving and going off to someplace else. Okay.
Yep.
So what about the second goal, infrastructure?
So infrastructure has been the work of our organization and several of our partners really for more than 2 decades, but our plan tries to hone in on some of those things that we need to do in the next 3 to 5 years to make sure we stay competitive. We've talked before when I've been on the show about making sure we get airfare competitiveness. That's a key part of this plan.
Right.
Finishing out some of the highway network is a key priority as well. But there's also a lot of new recommendations there about other modes or forms of transportation, a better bus system, or even some other transit options.
And I guess those are things that you get into as we grow, right?
That's exactly right.
10 years ago, nobody was talking about some of those things.
Absolutely.
But now that becomes part of the conversation.
Yep, absolutely.
As we grow
10 years ago,
on.
we didn't have 4-lane highways in pretty much any direction. Now we've got it, and in many cases it's interstate or it's about to be linked. Now we need to evolve or take the next step into what else do we need to have a holistic transportation.
We need 6 lanes, and we need it all the way from Bentonville down to Fayetteville.
With light rail running down the middle.
That's right, right? Yeah, there you go.
So all it takes is money. And there is a lot of work underway around highways already.
And it's also the planning, right?
Yep.
And that's what you're doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And another element in the infrastructure recommendations is much longer reaching, and that is a real comprehensive look at where are we going to be in 25 years as a region.
Right.
What are the transportation needs? What are the infrastructure needs? The utility needs? The water quantity? The water quality needs? So that's another piece of it. We'll complete that look in the next three years or so, but that's really got an eye toward the long-term horizon.
So the third is economic development.
Right.
Okay.
How do we market the region to attract business and industry, and also within the region, how do we continue to help it grow? So,
And we're real close to being in the top 100, right?
we're the 105th largest
105th.
according to our
Okay. So I was hoping that last time I talked to you it was 105th. I was hoping maybe we'd move to 104.
No, not yet, but it's coming. we're on the march. We're just not there yet. But it is both to attract business, but also to create the conditions and environment to let our existing industries grow. And so a lot of the great programs aimed at startups and entrepreneurs like Jeff Amorine and Stephanie McCraddock and so many others are working on, that helps with the organic growth, and then recruiting in industries, the other piece of the economic development puzzle.
Wow, exciting. So what's the final goal? Regional stewardship. What
That's
exactly
kind of a
does
mouthful.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, it means several things, but it is partly aimed at how are we grooming our next generation of leaders. We want to be real thoughtful in Northwest Arkansas about identifying those folks that show promise and giving them opportunities to plug in, to get involved, to scoot them up to the table or get them to scoot up to the table to lead our nonprofits, our governmental institutions, and get them involved now. I've said before on the show, we've got the 10th highest share of millennials in our workforce out of any metro area in the country. We have a young workforce.
We do.
We're real lucky there. They have a lot of work years ahead of them. We just want to make sure
How do you
their
get
work
them
years
involved
are here.
as leaders and get them kind of thinking down that path?
Well,
right?
it's several. There are two parts to that. You've got to give them the opportunity, but you've also got to get some of the folks that have been leading to acknowledge that we want to invite them.
That it's a conversation. I think it's always good to bring the young people in because they have a totally different perspective.
That's right.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming in today. We
Thanks
really
for letting us talk
appreciate it.
about it.
All right,
Appreciate it.
great.
Thank you.
Saturday morning meeting for suppliers. We'll be right back.
Retail Solutions is the market leader helping advance reporting and analytics with Walmart suppliers around the globe. We manage the data for you, automate data integration, attribution, and reports, and then help you focus on activities that will drive the most value. To do this, RSI works with you to perform a business value assessment to identify the largest value opportunities in your business. If improving results in sales through better insights and execution and efficiencies are important to you, contact RSI today.
If you're nearing retirement, let us show you some unique strategies that are available through Mach 1 Financial. These include hedged equity strategies, tactical strategies, managed options, and hybrid annuities. Curious? Call Mach 1 today for details.
Retail Insights brought to you by Orchestro. Today we've got Matt Waller here to talk with us. Thanks for coming in, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about OSA in context.
Yes.
So what is that?
You know, there's lots of ways of generating alerts about shelf out of stocks. And a lot of times people say, well, this product is too unpredictable to generate alerts on, and another one is predictable enough. But in reality, a lot of times they're looking at demand over time. When in reality,
so over a 1 week, 2 week period, something like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
But day of the week matters a lot. So for example, Wednesday may be very different than Saturday. On Wednesday, you may sell between 0 and 3 with equal probability.
Okay.
And on Saturday, you may sell between 15 and 20 with about 100% probability. So if you don't sell any on Saturday, that tells you something. Whereas if you don't sell anything on Wednesday,
that's not
you don't
necessarily
know.
a bad thing. It might be a normal thing that's happening.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So Orchestra is kind of bringing together some algorithms to tell that story better.
Exactly.
And look at it more in context. Okay. So what about peer stores?
Yeah, peer stores are interesting because a lot of times people say, well, we don't have enough information on a particular product's demand at a particular store, so they look at peer stores, similar stores. But you take a city like Kansas City, where in the South you've got Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, and those states may have different rules about the release of SNAP, so it makes the products behave differently.
Okay, so actually having different rules could affect it, and just and yet you got the stores right next to each other, very close to each other.
Exactly.
So they look like they're almost identical.
And so the bottom line is, these are just two examples, but context matters.
Context matters, it really does. Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming in today. We really appreciate your insight.
My pleasure.
Saturday morning meeting for suppliers. We'll be right back.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today.
8th and Walton can help you become a smarter supplier with webinars and classes, services like custom training, consulting, HR solutions, and staffing. Visit www.8thandwalton.com to find out how you can become a better partner to Walmart. Sales Analysts. Build your skills fast with 8th and Walton's core classes. Order them together and save 10%. Go to 8thandwalton.com/classes.
This week on Retail Edge, we're lucky enough to have Brandon Adams, the founder of Arctic Stick, and also you do a regular podcast called the University of Young Entrepreneurs. Welcome, glad you're here.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited.
Tell us a little bit about your background and what you're doing.
Well, background, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I was born and raised in Garnerville, Iowa. I grew up in a family ice business. My dad sold ice for a living, believe it or not. So it was one day that kind of changed my life. I was on ice route and I had a bottled beverage, and most of you have that aha moment. Well, my drink got warm and I'm like, what can I do to keep this colder longer? I could put ice cubes in, but it's time consuming. It doesn't work very well. Well, I came up with a concept called the Arctic Stick, and what you do is you fill the Arctic Stick full of your desired liquid. You close it, you freeze it, you take it out of the freezer. If you want to cool your drink, you drop it in, keeps it colder longer. If you want to flavor it, you twist, drop in, you get a flavor burst. And not only that, from developing, we found out that it's a great way for doing for energy shots, or for doing like an alcohol shooter. But I took that to Iowa State University, won a class competition, and from there, success story after another. I just kept going with it.
Very cool, and you've had some decent coverage and different things, but you probably learned a heck of a lot about product development, right?
Wow, did I learn a lot. And that's the past 3 years I've learned about product development, and crowdfunding was a big one. So what I found out, other consumer product companies out there, financing, money is hard.
So make that sort of relatable for the typical consumer packaged goods supplier. How can they use things like Kickstarter to be successful in a new product launch?
Okay, so in today's world, things are changing, and with crowdfunding, honestly, it's going to change how we do everything, how we launch a product. So you have your two routes. You have licensing, and then you have manufacturing.
Sure.
So now the first route you should take is what I suggest, is do crowdfunding. So if people don't know what crowdfunding is a platform where you can raise money. You don't have to give any equity up.
Right.
Raise money for your idea, whatever it is, usually like a consumer product.
Sure.
And have people back it, pre-order it, and use that money to support your venture. So you do a crowdfunding campaign, you raise money, and for the manufacturing route, that money can pay for your tooling and anything else for doing your company.
Right.
If you're gonna do a licensing route, then it can give you the track record, and you can show that to a big company and say, hey, Walmart or whoever, and say, hey, we have a track record, would you license the product?
So that's kind of the startup route, but for a bigger company that wants to do a new product introduction, why would crowdfunding and Kickstarter be a good route?
So this is a big thing with this. I just traveled on my podcast tour. I went out to Columbus, Ohio, and I interviewed Chris Hawker. He's famous inventor, invented $1 million products. He has a company called Trident Design. And what they do is they focus on doing crowdfunding campaigns. And some of them that people will know, they did the crowdfunding campaign called the Carbon Flyer.
Okay.
So it's basically a app on your phone, and you have this plane flying around.
Sure.
Fly a plane around. They raised over $300,000. Did a quick key, raised over $200,000. And the one that most people know about is the Coolest Cooler. They redesigned the cooler.
Right.
And that was, until a month ago, the largest crowdfunding campaign in history. It raised $13.2 million.
And for companies that don't necessarily need the money, what they are doing is validating whether or not the concept is going to have acceptance, whether or not people are really interested. So it's a more efficient way maybe than focus groups.
So
to
in
get
this
that
where
done,
it
right?
goes, the interesting part about that, Jeff, is so that quick key that raised over $200,000.
Sure.
He had a company come to him and say, hey, I want to license your product.
Right.
They had a great licensing deal, sent it out.
Yeah.
So how you can relate that to a big company? Big companies spend millions of dollars to bring out a new product, roll it out, and see if it's going to work. Well, the big companies are going to start going and doing these crowdfunding campaigns and getting market feedback. And if it fails, what are they out? $50,000 if most.
And if it succeeds, then
it's
they can
all
go
uphill.
fast, right? Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. You've done some other things that aren't directly tied to the product. This idea of Jay Baer has sort of pioneered this idea of smart marketing by being helpful first rather than selling. You know, he wrote this book called Utility, which is really a pretty good read. What are some things that you've done that kind of play to this approach that would be really useful for a supplier, a consumer packaged goods company to take note of?
Well, I do say this, if you're traveling from Des Moines to Arkansas, I listened to the whole book the other day. It's a great book. But if people aren't taking the utility approach to marketing, they're falling behind. So basically what utility is you need to give out more free value. You need to give out information to your consumers and your potential customers at no cost.
So that's the University of Young Entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, so what I do with that is I got a podcast every Tuesday, Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time. It's University of Young Entrepreneurs. You can find it at brandtadams.com or go on iTunes. But what I do is I travel the country. I interview the most successful entrepreneurs this world has to offer and give them insight on manufacturing, crowdfunding, product development, everything. And what this does is not only I'm inspiring millions of people, but what it's doing is I'm gaining authority in the market, just like Jay Baer says.
Becoming a thought leader, right?
Somebody that's helpful. Leader,
yeah.
And people are coming to me nonstop asking for advice. So what you do in return is whatever you have to sell, you sell it through that outlet.
Right. So focus on being helpful first and selling second.
Exactly.
Tremendous insights, really good information. Best of luck with Arctic Stick.
Thank you.
You're going to have to come back in about a year and tell us how it all went.
Hey, I'd love to. I appreciate
Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks,
really
Jeff.
appreciate it. It's fantastic. Coming up next will be the remainder of Saturday Morning Meeting for Suppliers.
GigWalk is transforming how work gets done. As the leading mobile workforce management platform, GigWalk provides companies with mobile tools and a data-driven approach to improving business efficiency. Leading brands and retailers use GigWalk to manage their field teams and to mobilize 750,000 GigWalkers to collect data intelligence about their business and brands. Are the shelves stocked? Are my products priced competitively? Are the correct promotions in place? Visit us at gigwalk.com to learn more. GigWalk, make work better.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
We all have large libraries of data. Unfortunately, most companies never read what is in their library, but instead settle for top-line reporting. Beyond software that just automates, when we open our minds to being curious and creative with data, we discover the insights that build into remarkable ideas which deliver business growth. Here at the Harvest Group, we do just that. Open up your rich consumption data into a set of priceless ideas that grow the business. Are you ready to unlock the ideas buried in your data? Let the Harvest Group take a look at your business.
You know, the biggest challenge of working with Walmart is they really expect everyone on the team to know their language, know their terminology, and know exactly how they do business. So that's where 8th and Walton really comes into play. You know, it's the fastest way to get my team members up to speed.
Their business model is suppliers teaching suppliers. So when you come to 8th and Walton, you can count on having very experienced trainers who understand how suppliers work within Walmart, and they take advantage of that and incorporate that into their curriculum.
Hi, I'm Jeff Clapper with 8th and Walton and Saturday Morning Meeting for Suppliers. Here today with Matt Hartman from Kraft Foods and Adelaide Schaeffer from Champions for Kids. Thank you both for joining us. We're here to talk about your upcoming event and Kraft Foods and how you all have partnered up. Adelaide, maybe you could tell us a little bit about Champions for Kids and speak to Razorfest.
Thank you, Jeff. We're excited to be here, especially with Kraft Foods. Champions for Kids. Our mission is to make it simple for people to help children in their community and to get a lot of people involved because of the needs of numbers of children, the needs of poverty. And Razorfest is an event that we put on. It's the largest statewide event in the state of Arkansas, and it's the only event in America where a university partners with a nonprofit to bring about the awareness and the needs of kids locally. This event has grown from 20,000 to 60,000 very quickly. And what's interesting about it? There are a lot of things that are interesting about it, but in Northwest Arkansas, our poverty is masked by prosperity. And if you take the four largest school districts of Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, Siloam Springs, 60% of those children are on free and reduced lunch. So there's the poverty. And so this means that there are a lot of children in need of hunger, of food, of healthcare items. So we do that on a large scale, but Champions for Kids partners and does this on a statewide scale. And so Razorfest is a large event to really bring awareness and create engagement. It's a fun day, and it's to partner with Kraft is an amazing opportunity. Jeff, in our 10 years, we've never had a company get in as large as Kraft is at scale. We've had a lot of suppliers and have a lot of suppliers get involved. Kraft has jumped in a major way, and I would like for them to talk a little bit about what they're doing on this day that's going to benefit thousands of children in our state.
Great.
Yeah, so we're thrilled to be part of Champions for Kids. We're thrilled, honored to be sponsoring the Razorfest event this year. It's a natural fit for Capri Sun and Kraft Foods as we look at our mission really is to earn a place within consumers' lives every day. And you can have that, you can take that any way, really, right? And this is part of how we do that, how we participate with the communities around the country. And this is a big event for us. We're going to be sending some samples down across Capri Sun and some of our other businesses as well, Planters and our cheese snacking business. So more than anything, we're just really looking forward to engaging with the folks that'll be at this event.
Yeah, that's great.
Jeff, I'd love to share with you a little bit about the event to provide a context. As I shared with you, it's the largest event focused on youth in our state. And as I also like to note, it's the only athletic event in the country that uses a spring football game to bring awareness and help support the needs of kids locally. So the University of Arkansas and their partnership with Kraft Foods and Champions for Kids is unique nationally.
Yeah.
We get a lot of support from them. But on that day, it's going to be what to expect. So on that day, the stadium comes alive. About 60,000 plus people attend. They come from all across Arkansas. We have people come from other states. Last year, we had people from Nevada, Texas, California. So do they come from Arkansas? They come from Arkansas, but they treat it like a home football game. So the atmosphere prior to the game is going to be some fun tailgating. There are going to be over 24 nonprofits set up. There are going to be many suppliers out there. They use this as a team engagement activity.
Sure. I personally have not been to the event, but just speaking with some of the people in our office, you talked about Razorfest and the excitement of the game, but even then it's like, oh, you can go. It started at 9 and there's so many activities. It's just a fun event to be at. So it's what really has our office just glowing right now. We're very excited for this event.
We have felt your excitement, and the way that you and Kraft has jumped in has meant the world to us because we've always had generous, incredible support. Kraft has knocked it out of the ballpark. They really have, and it's going to be fun to partner with them. You may not know this, but on opening day, we have the kickoff from the main stage at 9 o'clock, and that's when Jeff Long comes out, and the Razorback cheerleaders come out, and there's a big rally at 9 o'clock and a big kickoff with the Razorback cheerleaders. Coach Belima will come out there. Jeff comes out there. Kraft is on the main stage. We usually have a couple of key people from Walmart on that main stage. It's always a time when there's a crowd around that main stage, and with that kickoff and the Razorback cheer, then the whole day opens. But I'll see you at main stage.
I'll be there.
It's fun.
I just heard someone, it couldn't have been 2 days ago, say, is it football season yet? And I suspect that this is sort of a great sort of rally around the spirit of people's love for football on top of all of what you just said. It's just sort of like, let's dive in and celebrate that.
You know, Jeff, we've played with the idea. This event has been good for all participants.
Mm-hmm.
It has helped the athletic department in many ways. It has helped grow their spring attendance from 5,000 where they were to over 60,000 today.
Wow.
Now, let me say the athletic department has a great team. So it's not just because of this event, but we partner together. They bring in recruits, and this has been a great opportunity for them to showcase to the recruits the heart of the athletic department. It's more than just football because their athletes all give back.
Well, when we talk about on this segment of the show, the overlap of this business community, suppliers and Walmart, and the heart that people have for the community here, and the interesting or really wonderful opportunities that creates for all of these nonprofits, and how businesses support good causes, and this is taking that and adding one more circle to the Venn diagram to say athletics and all of that, the whole community, athletics, companies, and a great cause. It's really neat. Well, thank you both for being here today. Saturday morning meeting for suppliers. We'll be back shortly.
It's the biggest free family event of the year. Champions for Kids Razorfest, presented by Capri Sun, Saturday, April 25th at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Get ready for Razorback football with games, autographs, and lots of giveaways. Plus, bring a non-perishable food item to help feed the hungry in Northwest Arkansas. Then, stay to watch the red-white game at 1 p.m. It's Champions for Kids Razorfest, presented by Capri Sun, Saturday, April 25th at Reynolds Razorback Stadium.
GigWalk is transforming how work gets done. As the leading mobile workforce management platform, GigWalk provides companies with mobile tools and a data-driven approach to improving business efficiency. Leading brands and retailers use GigWalk to manage their field teams and to mobilize 750,000 GigWalkers to collect data intelligence about their business and brands. Are the shelves stocked? Are my products priced competitively? Are the correct promotions in place? Visit us at gigwalk.com to learn more. GigWalk, make work better.
Bentonville Commerce, less than 1 mile from the Walmart home office. You'll love the convenience, amenities, and customized options Bentonville Commerce offers. For more information or a tour, call 479-200-1112 today.
8th and Walton can help you become a smarter supplier with webinars and classes, services like custom training, consulting, HR solutions, and staffing. Visit www.8thandwalton.com to find out how you can become a better partner to Walmart.
Sales Analysts. Build your skills fast with 8th and Walton's core classes. Order them together and save 10%. Go to 8thandwalton.com/classes.
Are you a single parent struggling to meet your family's needs? Single Parent Scholarship Fund is here to help. Single Parent Scholarship Fund of Northwest Arkansas helps hundreds of single parents get an education. By providing scholarships and support, a brighter future is right around the corner for you and your family.
We should know, in 2007, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in organizational management. Single Parent Scholarship Fund helped make my dream a reality. My kids are so proud of me, and now they declare themselves as college-bound.
Next week, Andy will be back all tanned and rested, I expect. Not that Andy's not always tanned and rested. To introduce you to 2 CPG suppliers of 2 of my favorite products, coffee and skincare. And you'll find out how to introduce a new product and a new price. With Walmart's focus on environmentally responsible energy, waste, and products, sustainability is vitally important to every supplier in our retail community. So you won't want to miss our sustainability special in 2 weeks. You'll hear from the Sustainability Consortium, Tyson Foods, and others. From all of us at Saturday Morning Meeting for Suppliers, thanks for watching.